Forward, effect for Charlie. Forward, draw the sword. Forward, up and rally.
Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War 2 with this Scottish campaign. Last time around we invaded Malta and took that from the Knights. And now, the Knights have actually joined me. I have a load of mercenary Knights Brothers Hospitaller, if that's how you pronounce it. Currently trying to hold on to it. The populace is still slightly resistant to us, but as I've got the knights on my side, we are able to hold the order. With that though, or perhaps I should actually start off with saying that currently it's the summer of 1740. I can't remember exactly when we left off last time around, but it's the summer of 1740. Now, last time around I said, you know, the king, he's 54 years old. There is no way he's going to die anytime soon. Well, ladies and gentlemen, long live the king. Or should I say, the king is dead. Long live the king. The king died. What was he? Well, James the 8th was the king last time around. He's now dead, and instead we have the 14-year-old Charles III, who is King of Scotland, who just recently took the throne here in early 1740 as his father passed. Now, Charles doesn't have any children because he's only 14 years old. He's still a child. Makes sense. He does like toy boats and he's also pretty good at managing the treasury. So I imagine he's counting. He's got a little bit of a piggy bank, and he likes to run the ships through the bathwater. So patron of the naval administration, and then he's also, I guess, good with counting money for a 14-year-old. In terms of he's got no one, of course, directly descended, because he's got no children. We do have other claimants. I'm not entirely sure how these people are related to him, but they're actually worse than him. Somehow, these people are 2 and 1 stars, while this 14-year-old is a 3-star. So he's got better management than whoever these people are, which are completely awful people, I imagine. Anyways, with that said, anything else that has happened? Well, one thing. So eventually we are going against France, and I did realize that France has kind of a technological advance. I just didn't realize how much of a technological advance they had over us. So France, of course, has their own university, a modern university here in Orléans. But they also have, as they've conquered through Italy, once they took Turin, Savoy, they actually got a traditional university right there in Chambly, if that's how you pronounce it. Again, that's how you pronounce it. Then, of course, they took Genoa, and then they got La Spezia. They got the classical university there, so now we're up to 3 classical universities. Well, of course, they did not stop there, and they went in and took the Papal States. And with that, they got the modern University of Bologna. So now we're up to 4 universities. But they, of course, did not stop there. They wanted to carry on capturing more of Italy. So they went up to Venice. And with that, they got the Classical University of Verona. So now we're up to, what, 5 universities? And that's in Europe. And then if we head over to America, they also have one here in Harrisburg. I haven't gone through all this bloody nonsense in America, but they've got 6 universities. And I'm slowly building up my 3rd in India, while they have a whopping 6 I've been trying to buy technologies from other nations, and it's not going that well. I offered to buy a single technology of the Bavarians and adding quite a few technologies of my own in trade. 60,000 gold plus like 3 or 4 technologies against one of theirs, and they refused. So the AI is driving a pretty hard bargain. I remember last time talking about how perhaps when it comes time to research the abolish slavery, and I would do sort of a anti-slavery squadron that would kill off any other navy that was trading in slaves. And I kind of realized why is it that so hard to say? Hypocrisy of that statement. Wait, there's Denmark. Fuck you, Denmark. The hypocrisy of saying that while I was simultaneously employing let's just call it what it is. It's a genocidal plan in India, where my plan to keep the continent under my control partly hinges on the fact that I have reduced the amount of all these sort of different wetlands and so on, and all the wheat fields and whatever that we have throughout India, and instead made them into horse farms and stuff, so I could gain cash from India instead. So we're actually starving. In a lot of places it's not actually working because the technology is too good, and the fact that there's some immigration coming in as well, and the taxes are quite low. So the genocidal plan is not actually working. The populations are increasing across India because of the low taxes, but you know, the plan is still in place there. So no villages left. Here is where we should actually implement this. Burn down the wetlands here where they're growing rice, and instead building a farm there to facilitate some sort of cash crop, or in this case horse farms that we're doing all across India. Also, where I can, I've gone ahead and switched out a lot of these farmlands into ceramics factories, which gave a lot of wealth to the region, plus gain per turn, compared to if the ceramic faction had been in a state instead. It would have just given 450 to the region wealth and no gain per turn in terms of wealth gain per turn. So it adds a lot to that. I imagine if I ever had to increase taxes, and or there are these moments of famines that go through, that these areas would be hit pretty hard. And I guess this is sort of historically correct, as certain areas were certainly built, the British set them up specifically more for cash crops, reducing or making certain areas of India then more susceptible to famine, because there wasn't that much food grown locally. Yes. With that, I should actually upgrade this. I've been not upgrading a lot of the certain farms because they come with quite a bit of unhappiness, but seeing as though the happiness of this region is quite high, I can afford to upgrade it. So I've been upgrading quite a few of these. And also, what I have gone ahead and done just recently is I've reduced and removed a lot of the cannon, what's it called? Cannon foundries in these larger settlements, and instead we're building crafts workshop to increase the amount of money we can get out of India as of right now. So we're really building it towards just the economy, and I'm building a lot of the colonial areas like that. Not a lot of the army units are to be recruited from a vast amount of areas. This could obviously be susceptible if the AI was smart enough to do targeted attacks specifically at the areas where I can recruit stuff like that, but that's very unlikely. So the areas that currently can recruit cannons is the Bengal region and the Hindustan region, and yeah, those are about it that can recruit cannons in India. And then back here now. So, next target then for invasion is the Ottomans. So, it's not going too well for the Austrians, and it hasn't gone. I'm surprised they're still alive. Now, I've pumped probably 200,000 gold and a number of technologies into them to keep them alive. And now, finally, we're going to go ahead and join them. I'm thinking, though, that I will not actually extend an official alliance, because it turns out they're at war with France, so that doesn't even work. However, we're going to use them as the reason why we're getting involved, because Austria has been asking us for a long time to join in, and they've been ready to give up territory for us to either ally with them or just give them money and technologies and stuff. So they are the reason why we're coming in, and that's why I have set up my armada outside of Crete, where this is the Austrian Crete at this point. So we've set up there, and we're going to attack the Ottomans. Now, they've actually just recently started to recruit troops in this area, and suddenly there's a fleet, 2 fleets here. For a large part, when my spies first came to these areas, completely empty. And, I mean, all of this is still completely empty. We have 2 units of Berber musketeers, but that's the only units, infantry units, in the entirety of the Egypt, entirety of Palestine, the entirety of Syria. And, I mean, if you include the little troops out here, there's basically nothing sort of in this part right here. Now, they do have an army up here, but here's not where I'm going. What I'm going to do is the 2 armies are going to be launched, one against Egypt and one against Palestine. So we're going to take Jerusalem, and then immediately we're going to jump over and take Damascus. We're hoping to take all these 3, and we're going to start recruiting troops to hold these regions down. I just noticed here, Jerusalem has no wealth whatsoever. There's no welfare whatsoever. There's nothing. There's literally nothing here. And there's barely any people. Huh. That's... I don't think I've ever seen a region with 0 wealth. There is another... This one is strange because it's not on fire or anything. It's just shit province. I did notice, now we cannot see it right now. Maybe I can actually move you up there. This region is 0, but this one is 0 because, as you can see, a lot of places are burning in this area. So it makes sense that this one is 0. But this one being 0 is kind of crazy because there's literally nothing wrong with it besides being a heap of sand. Anyways, so the 2 non-member unit armies are going to land and attack these areas then. And then the membership unit army, under the command of... Where is he? There we go. Kirk Cohen, 66 years old. I'm sure he's gonna die in a second now. He's gonna land here at this shipyard, and then he's gonna march towards Anatolia, Ankara, and take out the full stack there. And that's gonna be today's battle. With that said, I'm just gonna make sure that these guys are not allied. They're allied with the Polish-Lithuanians. However, I do think the Polish-Lithuanians are probably not going to join them in the war. Also a really odd ally to have for Salim III. Right, Salim, I've come to declare war on you. Okay, he did actually have more allies. Oh, no, I think these are vassals, actually. Okay, the vassals joined. Oh, everyone joined, actually. Didn't really think about the these guys, but these do not really have any major navy, do they, to threaten anything? So it should be fine. Right, let's go ahead and start this then. I'm thinking Ross Adelton will go ahead and land here in Alexandria, which is a fishing port. That's how have they? Oh yeah, shoot. There. And then the army marches, and suddenly Cairo falls, and Egypt is mine. We're gonna go ahead and build this up again. Right, we cannot actually recruit a lot of good units here. I'm gonna go ahead and build this region up a little bit, change things around. And then we're gonna have, let's see, Glencar and his army to land in Gaza. And once there, they will march to take Jerusalem. In this case, I'll actually out-resolve it. I probably should have out-resolved the other one as well. The generals need stars. They need experience. Galloper and Steady Under Fire. Right, so we set Jerusalem on fire. I'm gonna start building up this province. Taking good care of it. It's gonna be a trade port right there, and then crafts workshop, pottery. Wonderful. And then once we're able to start getting... Oh, look at that! Even with the full army here, there's enough. Cultural unrest is so high, 22%, that even with this, they're actually ready to revolt in this area. Hopefully that is going to change rather soon. We can get light Palestine cavalry from this region. We'll have some indigenous units, of course. Still, the plan is to go for Damascus for the as a second attack after that. Now the problem with the army here is that I don't make it the full way, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna send out a smaller army to attack me first, which I think is gonna be a problem. Then with that, what I'm going to do is, let's see, the Ottomans do not actually get that much trade, so it's not that important to block it, because there's actually not a lot of it. So it's going to be more important to attack the enemy's navies. I'm going to take these two fleets, combine them, and we're going to just put them... We should still attack something, shouldn't we? So I'm going to attack where it is, where most of it is. So we'll go ahead and attack it there to try and perhaps goat these fleets into attacking us. Should be easy enough to cut them down. Right, so that is the start of the plan. So far it's working perfectly. This region is immediately starting to grow wealth, which is great. We're going to end turn, and then we're going to see about marching on the full stack here, or if this full stack marches against us. Well, would you look at that? The Ottomans come with a peace agreement right away. While your educated men are no better than the donkeys of my lord's domain, he feels that their discovery would be properly exploited under his guidance. They want seed drill, advanced irrigation, and threshing. So a lot of it is agriculture. They want the agricultural stuff in peace treaty. And they're doing demands while I am invading them. Very bold, Selim. Very bold indeed. Here's another odd offer from Russia, no other. Piotr I wants military alliance, and he wants a threshing machine. In exchange, he wants to give me military access for 5 turns, and he's gonna hand over 2 of his regions. He's gonna hand over half his country, because as I recall, he's only got 4 regions left. That's crazy. And certainly nothing I have time in organizing right now, since I'm sure the Swedes are barreling down upon him, and the regions he's giving me would put me in the way of the Swedes, and I am not intending to fight the Swedes right now. Certainly not. No, thank you, Piotr. Suddenly, everyone is ready to make a deal with me. Sweden demands siege drill, 29,000, and exchanged advanced siege artillery. While this deal is not a good one, because it's 1-to-1 in technology and then paying 29,000. However, given the previous trade deals that I've talked about, this one's actually pretty good, so I will accept. One thing that we didn't see during the end turn was the fact that the Ottomans, of course, have trade navies down in the East Indies, and they attacked my 2 trade navies down there. I had 3 ports that I held. They attacked 2 and moved them away, took over 1, and then the Polish-Lithuanians actually moved in and took another one. Polish-Lithuanians don't have a port though, so it's completely pointless. Alistair McGregor comes into my service as a steady hand, something of a blade. Why is everyone of my guys more of a dueling bastard than a scholar? Now we already have 4 here, and I only have 2 down there, so we'll be heading to Cambridge with this one. Oh, I didn't realize I had one of these schools in Egypt. I'll have to deal with that later. I don't think we're gonna keep it though. Or perhaps I should, to try and race ahead and get somewhere close to the French. Morally impaired? I'm not even sure who that guy is. As some stables. Stable horses instead of food is my policy for India. And what ships can I recruit here? I just upgraded it. 110 ship of the line. Wonderful. But we also just improved the barracks here. Can I get something better now? I can actually get specific Maltese militia, which I should probably recruit and replace the current matchlock units. Although that is not actually needed right now, because we're 5+ in happiness. So instead, I should probably just remove these and stand to gain some money of not having to pay all those people. Right. The army that the Ottomans have had here actually moved out and moved here. I was a little bit worried at first because a small army came around and I got an opportunity to intercept. I didn't take it. They moved here and forced out the fleet. So currently, Kirk Cohen is actually kind of stuck. Now we could easily go ahead and take back the port, but it looks like the Ottomans actually set it on fire. So there's only one way forward, and that's to attack. Luckily for me, the enemy has deployed their army perfectly, so we got a full stack versus a full stack. The difference is, though, they do not have a proper general. They're going to bring in some troops, about 1,200, but otherwise it's 7,158 Scotsmen versus 8,000 Ottomans, which looks to be mostly infantry. I was worried that perhaps we would have a repeat of India, where these massive cavalry armies would charge into my ranks. But that looks not to be the case, so it's going to be very much a infantry affair. Lots of bowmen in the enemy army. Right, enough talking. Let's go ahead and thrash these Ottomans. And so here we are on the field of battle. It's a rather odd field of battle because it's a big hill right in the center here. We started off with the hill actually being on the sort of the right side of our deployment zone, and the Ottomans have decided to, they started on the other side. Currently my artillery is not really being able to reach anyone, and as of current it is too dangerous to move them up. However, they should probably be moved up here as soon as possible. As we can see, the Ottomans are starting to climb the hill as well as I am. So I've sent rather a few brigades. I've sent actually 4 brigades to deal with this, to take the hill. So it's 2 of these Scottish line infantry, then it is the Lord Gordon Brigade, and then it is the Royal Highland Grenadier Brigade that's moving up, together with Henrik's 4 squadrons of Royal Lions. Is it Royal Lions? Yes, his Royal Lions. And then swinging around down the hill, we got the Irish Brigade, we've got the Scottish Line Infantry Brigade, and then the Guard Infantry Brigade that is swinging around back here. I'm lucky because it looks like the cavalry is heading away from the hill and mostly ending up down here. Should probably detach quite a few troops to deal with this. So probably a large part of this brigade will instead be moved to cover the gap here, and then perhaps have some cover here. So that otherwise I think the Royal Guard cavalry here under the command of Henrik would have too much to deal with all of. Basically they've put all their cavalry over here. Actually I should move the guns, because I have a possibility of moving the guns up there and then firing into the cavalry, which would be rather nice, because currently the way they've been firing at the single unit and only dealing about 30 men damage hasn't really done that much. Okay, so the enemy is really close now. I will be ordering the Grenadier Brigade to come into position right here. Lord Gordon's will be moved over here as to not clash with them, and then the 1 infantry brigade will be moved over here, and then these guys will continue but at a slow pace, and there'll be reserves to the Grenadier Guard. So they've got a few units up here already. It's 2 smaller archer units which are starting to rain down fire upon us. The Irish Brigade will continue forward, and they'll take the Infantry Brigade as reinforcement right behind them, and I'll detach the Guard Brigade to see if they can kind of sneak their way through here. The Guard Brigade, of course, includes Culloden's own as one of the units. Right, my grenadiers have started firing. However, I don't think they're doing much damage, so I'm gonna order them to actually seize the hill by bayonet. Right, looks like the Ottoman melee infantry is going right towards these guys, but they're only going to be surrounded here, as they're going to have to fight 4 units of infantry, and then this unit of grenadiers are going to fall on their backside. Right, Lord Gordon tried to take this bit. All the enemy cavalry is on the move. We're going to detach 2 of the infantry to go there, and then 2 of the infantry will just move up to cover there. There wasn't actually as much territory there as I thought there was. Right, the grenadiers have come in. The unit is attacked from both sides. I'm sure they've done quite a bit of damage though. They've killed about 50 men out of that one unit. But now with the grenadiers having basically split their unit, I don't think they're going to do too well anymore. Oh, we lost tons of grenadiers here due to the archer fire. Thing is, when you use archer units, they're shit. When the AI uses them, it's like they're shooting lasers. Right. Lesson learned. I will order 2 units to advance with bayonets immediately. What I should have probably done is sent the cavalry to deal with them. Right, there's a lot going on. We just marched into the Janissary musket fire here. So the Irish Brigade took about 32 men damage before they're able to respond with fire. The thing is, they're going to be reinforced by another 3 units. That's only going to be able to focus on this one. So I do think, even though the 112th Regiment is going to have suffered a lot of casualties, ultimately I think they will do pretty well there. And then of course I've got the heavy cavalry moving up here. That is not really enough of these guys have been killed there. Oh, right, now they're engaged in melee there. What we'll do is we'll have 2 of the squadrons moving up, actually 3 of the squadrons moving up to take the hill, and then the last squadron should actually make sure that those guys are killed, and then I will bring the batteries up onto the hill. Right, the fire is going on. Once the rest of the regiments in the Irish Brigade started firing, they were completely outnumbered and the Janissaries are running away. Damn, that's a lot of troops there. I wonder, my cannons could potentially, from the position they had before, actually be able to fire on this. But I think it's kind of too much. Oh, look at that. The flank position the Grenadiers have on them. We'll have the Grenadier Brigade coming up here. Here is where we definitely want the artillery to get up into that flank position. The general can sit back there. Lord Gordon's regiment have had quite the difficulty actually dealing with the archers. The archers have actually kind of slaughtered one of the MacGordon regiments down to about half, and then the other one lost tons of men as well. So that didn't go too well. We have 1 enemy there. I want to just put some units to make sure that we block them from when they come up. Right. The Irish should now focus on these musketeers right here. The reinforcement brigade should move up right behind them. We've got the elite infantry should fan out here, be ready to attack. The heavy cavalry, I don't really have a better position to slot them in. Perhaps I should actually move them up with the guard infantry and strike from this side, coming down the hill against them, rather than trying to climb uphill and attack them. However, I would have to move a lot of units around to get to that position, so... right, Lord Gordon's regiments move over here, and then these 3 units... oh, the cavalry's on the way now. Oh, and this guy is rallying. Right, Henrik's lines need to deal with that. The Gordons lost too many men fighting that. Alright, the fight have started here, and it's James Graham's own that is kind of facing it head on. Order everyone to run to position here to start laying down fire on these. Oh, they're starting to move. I think they realized they were being outflanked. A lot of this is going to come barreling right down on the Irish Brigade. Let's see if I can get the elite units up here quickly and get the Grenadiers to form line right next to them. And then we've got the line infantry coming in as reserves. They should be on hold fire. Right, and all these guys are moving forward. The cannon's going to be it's going to take quite some time to drag them up onto the hill. Right, we've got cavalry storming forward, getting shot to pieces though by the Irish, as the enemy is not actually conducting an attack, but they're rather repositioning their troops. They didn't do a proper attack on the Irish brigades. They were able to cut them down. And meanwhile, the troops on the hill, they just gave me the hill, kinda. Once I get if I wait until I get my cannons up here, it's gonna be a disaster for the Ottomans. Currently, it looks like it's going to be that way. It's gonna be an utter disaster for them. There's a few units that kind of stuck here and there outside the main deployment for the Ottomans. Right, so what I'll do is I'll actually send down Henrik's Lions, and they'll try and deal with these straggling units back here. And then we'll organize the rest. Oh, now the hill is able to open fire downhill on the enemy, because they're trying to reposition their army. They're not trying to move against us. They are fanning out quite a bit on this side though, so perhaps what I should do is I think this one should take the main fight, and then the Irish will move to the flank, because they've lost quite a lot of men. Also, these guys should be set to not fire at will, because that could go very bad. Oh, the cannons are soon here. Wondrous day. Oh yeah, that was the one unit I sent away all the way over there. I actually move at regular speed. Oh, they charged the line with their cavalry. We'll be moving into square to counter that. And then I think we'll try and gain ground, because right now we're kind of in low ground compared to the enemy. Are they firing back at us? What's going on? Yes, they are. Let's see, the guns are coming up now. See if I can slot them in behind the lines here. And then we'll be unleashing quite a bit of fire onto the enemy. Order out 2 of the heavy cavalries to deal with the enemy lances over there. The enemy is very reluctant to commit to any action. And at this point it is costing him the battle. But I can kind of understand it, because they don't actually have a general present in commanding their army. Right, move the cannons forward. Beyond the line of my musketeers. Where's this gun? Move the guns forward. Switch to canister. And start bombarding them. Oh, there's enemy cavalry. It's good that I had extra units here. Oh, they're going to attack Henrik's lines in the back, are they? Lord Gordon's regiments will be moved forward here. Henrik's lines will be ordered to turn about face to face the enemy. The guns have been deployed and should be ready soon enough to bombard the enemy. As the enemy is now kind of committing to taking the hill, the Irish brigade will advance with the following brigade following right after, with the heavy cavalry ordered to dispatch this unit right here. We're gonna have to order some of these units, probably needs to be ordered back. We'll see. Right, there's heavy fighting there. I think we've got the upper hand though. But the Ottomans are now returning fire over here. They've yet to be able to reach the guns. I think I can move this one so that he can fire. And you should actually be able to fire. Fired units further down the hill. So you fire through. Oh, that was not supposed to happen. Fired units lower down the range. And smaller units that are clumped together. There's one here in the back that could probably be moved around. I did send for one. He's still back there. Right, the enemy did not fare well against this. Have you come around and attack? Oh, my heavies are gone too far. Get that. But maybe as well, just as well, that we wake that square up. Oh, what happened now? They got attacked. Right, then you can move behind line. And that means that I can order these 3 units to open fire as you move back. Didn't I just order you to attack? The reason I ordered all 4 to attack was because as I ordered these guys to fall back, they would have been fired upon anyway, so might as well go ahead and order in an attack. The fight here it's a slugfest. I think I'm winning, but I'm not winning as well as I would have liked. I'm gonna try and rush one infantry unit down there to aid in that fight. Right, you can fire on that right there. You should fire on these units right there. Oh, and now the enemy is kind of surrounding me here, which is not great. And they're coming to attack the Irish in the flank. This one will deploy like this then, to deal with that. Also, the Irish should do a mighty jump forward. Let's see, finding good targets. That one's right ahead of you. We'll extend Lord Gordon's troops down here to try and catch as many of these as possible. Try and actually do the same here. You should move that way. Ah, look at that. Even though they've lost tons of men, but they actually handle it on their own. I knew the Ottomans had good cavalry, so I guess I underestimated them a little bit. Have the heavy cavalry move back. I'm sure they've lost way too many men here. They were not supposed to move into that like that. Perhaps at this range it's better for it to fire round shot. Oh, where are you going? Back into line, because otherwise this unit is going to... Cannons are actually going to destroy you. You can move up and fire though. Right, they've cleared the guns. Open fire. Fire away at the Berbers. Right, Henrik's Lions. They remain, but I will set them to guard the passage out of here and try and kill as many retreating troops as possible. And that will go for all cavalry units actually at this point. Fire towards that with round shot. I think that could yield quite interesting results. The enemy general was killed, although he wasn't actually a general. It was just part of a cavalry unit. The enemy got crushed because they didn't put a general in charge of the army. Lord Gordon's regiment will be moved down here. We'll add this unit right there. These units are now firing round shot. I will be ordering the Grenadiers to march down. I'll be ordering this unit to march down as well. And the Guards to come down. And then the Irish to join the front line. Oh, look at that. They're coming closer to the heavy cavalries. Strike out. These two units will continue to focus in on the units down there, and I should order this unit to hurry and take command of the guns again. And then Henrik's Lions will be ordered to chase down a lot of these units. We don't want to be facing them again. And then also trying to keep a tab on where everyone is. So the heavy cavalry doesn't get stuck somewhere. There's quite a large unit over there that needs to be chased down. Also there's a massive unit retreating that way that needs to be chased down. Henrik's Lions chasing down everything of size on this side. Plus they're about to be joined by basically an untouched squadron. Lord Gordon's regiment putting in a lot of work here with the Gordon Highlanders on the left, the named unit there on the left. Let's move everyone forward actually and create a line like that, and then this unit We'll make a line there. And then these two should actually come off the hill and deploy there. The Grenadiers should quickly join in and set up here. Now though, the my troops are too close, so the guns should hold fire. Alright, so we've come off the hill, we're creating a line here. There's lots of impassable terrain. Looks like it's a lot of Kurdish hillmen and stuff that is trying to come against us. I don't think it's working out too well for them. I'll let the Grenadiers fire once into the enemy, and then once they've fired, I will be ordering them to charge downhill and delete these men. Charge! Whoever called me can wait. We'll have to order them around a little bit like that. And now the full squadron is ready to attack that way. I'll bring in the 3 others as well to chase down the troops here. My Grenadiers chased away all the enemy units off here. I'll order them to take positions here and then fire as the enemy is retreating. The Irish will come forward as well. These will come to that hill there. You should chase up all those 4 units. The heavy cavalry units have dealt with the enemy over there. Actually, what they can do is they can come here, and then all of Henrik's lines should move off these, except the smaller unit here, which will go off that one. Actually, you will go off that one. So 2 units, Henrik's lines, should move on the flank of these Janissary Musketeers, which is the last unit to hold. And time to hold fire as the charge is going in. The heavy cavalry will ride up right in the back of the Azars, fire their pistols, and then charge in. Not that I think their pistol shots are very accurate or very useful, but it probably looks quite cool. We have a single unit, which looks to be the only one kind of holding, that is without us actually targeting it. We have another unit actually coming back as well. I'm gonna order the artillery to deal with that one. I'm sure once it gets a few artillery shots. Oh, this Janissary unit, it retreated in to that one unit of Henrik's Lions and got completely wiped out. Actually, you should join in there to firmly destroy these. Right, the battery just fired. We'll order them to hold fire. The Royal Squadron comes in and adds just that little extra as the very tired heavy cavalry of Catherine's, what's it called? Catherine's Own? Catherine's Guard is able to send them away, and with that I should be victorious. If it weren't for the fact that we do have enemy reinforcements, 1,200 men though, so not a lot. I do have 2 artillery units to be moved. I have a Scottish brigade that we haven't used. They should be moved over there immediately. Them and the guards should be moved as soon as possible to deal with that. And the cannons are moving that way. The general have moved over here. The cavalry units should all make their way surely, slowly but surely, to deal with this. As there's not much left, there's only 1,200 men that's coming in and reinforcements over there. I think that it is... Oh, there's some coming in from this side as well. Henrik's Lions will go this way to deal with the archers. We'll send this brigade and the Irish. And I'll deal with these 1,200 men, but at this point it's clear that I have won the battle. We've played this for 30 minutes. Probably could have been a better battle if the ground was flat and the enemy actually had a general. A lot of it came down to the fact that they didn't have a general, so there was no one to take charge and tell them to, you know, attack. Instead, that they, when they finally decided to attack, it was too late. The guns were already there, and they had to go up a very steep hill under strenuous fire. And with that said, I will call this a victory. And here's the result of the battle. The enemy deployed 9,280 men against 7,000 of mine. They ended up losing 7,800, leaving them with 1,400 men. 1,400 men, funnily enough, is the amount of troops that I lost during the battle, leaving me with 5,700 men after the battle. What I note here is I killed about 100 men of my own, while the enemy killed about 300 of their own. When it comes down to the highest killer is the 2 batteries, no surprise there. Those canister shots did a lot. Then we have a Royal Highland Grenadier unit that lost 36 men, killing 421 enemies. Then we got Royal Guard, so it's Henrik's Royal Lions, 2 of those squadrons, killed about 400 each. And then we have 2 units of Scottish Cuirassiers, followed by Royal Highland Grenadiers again. More troops there. Irish Brigade. So we might have an infantry unit that did a lot there, which would be either then the Freedom Fighters or Graham's own. Lord Gordon's regiment as well went from 1 to 3 chevrons there. So those are the ones to look out for, perhaps to see if it is a named unit that did perform exceptionally well. So the units are cast aside as we stand victorious, with the road open then to Ankara and Anatolia to go ahead and take that. I'm going to go ahead and check here now. James Graham's own is actually at 3 chevrons. There are 166 men left, so it could be them. I can't remember exactly the number of troops, or it could be the Freedom Fighters as well, because I remember it was like 160-ish men surviving in that unit. So it could be either of those that kill that many. The other 2 are both 2 chevrons. So it's one of the named units. It depending upon, you have to go back and take a look at the video there, whether it's 166 men left or it's 164. Then it was Lord Gordon, where the unit gained. I can't remember how many they gained. How many chevrons they gained? Was it 3? The named unit anyways, Gordon's Highlanders, had 136 men left. So you can check that as well. And then of course Henrik's Lions did very well, and Catherine's Guard. Heavy losses though among the cavalry. I thought for what I should have done is I should probably have spread out the royal squadrons to surround the 2 Ottoman units, and then we would have fought them down a lot quicker, as it became a kind of slugfest, which ended up losing a lot of these Royal Guard units. But this is a good invasion. We crushed a full stack right here, opening up this way, right up to Ankara, which should be more or less of a auto-resolve. And then, of course, this army should be able to jump to the next location there, take Syria. Actually, it can do it right now, actually. I don't think I need a cannon foundry here. We're gonna need some troops to hold down the area. So we got light cavalry of Palestine. I don't think they are that good in terms of what I want, which is a garrison policing bonus. So yeomanry is better to recruit then. And I'm thinking something similar here. Actually, we got this. Askari. I have no idea what Askari is, what kind of units those are. Well, I can see here what kind of unit it is. But I've never, like, Askari warriors, never really heard about those. What they're supposed to be sort of built on in terms of... this one also has a garrison bonus. But I don't think I would want to put these guys in charge of anything. Right, we're gonna need a load of those as well to take charge of this province. I wonder though, we do have a school here right now, but I do not think this is an area where I want to develop a school down in Egypt. So we'll burn it for now, and we'll burn this as well. We need a trade port here. This will increase, I was about to say happiness for the lower classes. It will not increase. Oh, we have a magistrate all the way out here. Which one does increase the most happiness for the lower classes? It is the military hospital. We'll build a military hospital all the way out here in the middle of nowhere. We do, sir. I am wounded. I need to get to the hospital. We do have a hospital. It's just that I put it so far away that walking all this way, everyone who wants to actually visit it and take part of its services will die. Wonderful government service right there. This has been a long episode as it is. Should end it right now. Good start to this invasion. The Ottomans have been brought low. They are spread thin. Their power is only mighty at this point, and they're only counted as rich. We could see a resurgence of Ottoman enemies, especially then the Austrians would strike again, as I continue to strike out and slowly but surely reduce the Ottoman Empire to more or less nothing, to make sure that I can hold on to Egypt. But with that said, I will be saying, like I always say, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.